Hey guys, for the last video of the day, I thought I would do something kind of fun. I have put 3 different topics on little pieces of paper. I don't know which one is which. On one of the topics, I have energy update. On one of them, I have Biden Trump. I don't know why I put that down as one. And then for probably just because it's something different to talk about and I just kind of want to see what happens. And then the third one I put Sacral Chakra opening. So I'm just gonna pull one and I'll just talk about it. And I don't know, obviously I have nothing planned for any of them. This reminds me of comedians. They have to pull random things out of a bucket in front of a crowd, random topics, and then do like an impromptu comedy kind of show on it. And it's an interesting way to kind of work on your craft. Okay, enough talking about that. All right, I'm gonna do this one. It is Sacral Chakra opening. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for Trump Biden. That would have been hilarious. Maybe I should just go with that because that's what I wanted to pull. Sacral, I guess I'll just play the game, fuck it. Sacral Chakra opening. So I've been having a massive sacral chakra opening. I've been having tons of sexual energy moving through my body, materializing as, coming through as just these primal sexual desires, and having the imagery come through the mind space, matching that repressed primal sexual desire. I think that this is in connection with me just purging a lot of shame out of my body. Life is so ingenious at orchestrating the perfect events to get you to feel the feelings in your body that are the most buried, you know? And I know I've had a lot of shame in my body. It's in my genetics, it's in my ancestral lineage, and it's something that life has really been focusing on having me release. So if you have a lot of shame in your body, life is going to tend to have you make decisions that are going to trigger shame. Like maybe you have to go through something where you're the bad guy or the bad girl, or where everyone kind of shuns you and looks at you in a negative light. It's like that shame that might be triggered when you were kicked out of the tribe or something. Or rejected by maybe a friend group in high school. You know, we all have, high school is like, that's the place where drama can be really amplified. A lot of times we graduate high school, but we stay high schoolers, we just keep going through dramas because we don't evolve past like 16 emotionally until maybe we go through a spiritual awakening or some kind of crisis kind of wakes us up to living with a deeper maturity. But, what the fuck, where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with this, I know I was. That's the thing, sometimes you just keep following to the next tangent, and it's like, okay, let's get it back on course. So you might go through this experience where you're brutally rejected, you maybe mess something up really bad, or you make what's perceived as a really big mistake. And this is life helping you to feel the shame in your body that otherwise you wouldn't have the opportunity to feel. So when you're going through it, when you've just made that huge mistake, or you've just been kicked out of the tribe, or just been rejected by someone you care about, or something like that has happened, or you've really dropped the ball somewhere in your life, this is an opportunity. I mean, and if that triggers shame, that's a huge opportunity for you to release a lot of this heaviness. And so in the moment, it's not going to feel like this is happening for you. It's going to feel like you're being punished, that you're the worst, that everyone hates you, or, especially if you got kicked out of a tribe. It's going to feel horrible, and you're going to be convinced that you're maybe irredeemable. But this is the shame talking. This is that repressed energy taking the form of a thought. And it might take you a while to see through those thoughts, to see through the shame, to see through the idea that you could ever be bad. And it might take you a while to see that in an absolute sense, there's really no such thing as a mistake. There's no such thing as doing it wrong. That every choice you make just leads to greater growth and expansion, and that there are no wrong choices. And sometimes we make certain choices so that we can learn the lesson we need to learn from that choice, so that in the future we have new choices, new options, and we don't have to make that same choice again. Because sometimes we have to make that choice just to release a bunch of shame. That choice that on the surface looks like we made a huge mistake, and we can honor that on a relative human level, of course, take accountability and all that great stuff. But just in the absolute sense, we might need to make that choice that is perceived as a huge mistake, that we messed up, the choice that leads us to getting kicked out of a tribe, etc., so that we can feel through this gnarly, gritty shame in our body. Because maybe if you don't make that choice, you never get to feel through that shame. Or you're just going to have to make that choice at a later date. Because life is, like I've talked about, the geometry of life is so perfect to heal you, to elevate your consciousness, to dissolve any darkness and shadow in your body. So don't look at choices that have led to you having to feel shame as bad or the wrong choice. No, that was the perfect choice. There's a reason you made that choice. Matt Kahn says, everything had to happen exactly the way it did. How do we know that? Because I don't know, I fucked that quote up. I'm trying to do it too fast. Basically, what the fuck did he say? He said, basically everything happens the way it needed to happen for your highest growth. And we know that because it happened the way it did. My fucking perfectionist is gonna hate that I'm not gonna edit that out. I used to have that quote in my field so precisely, but it's been years since I went to go back to it, to use it. And so I just went back to it and it was like, it's not there. But basically we needed to make that choice. And the reason we know we needed to make it is because we made it. It's because it happened. Everything happened the way it was meant to. So in the moment, it can feel like, oh, that was such an awful thing I did, or I wish I wouldn't have done that. But as time passes, as the lessons come in from that choice, as the shame leaves your body, as you release the heavy, dense emotions from your being, you're going to look back on that choice and you're not going to see a mistake. You're not going to regret it. You're going to say, holy fuck, that choice that I perceived as such a big mistake was so expansive, liberated me from so much darkness that was in my body that I didn't even know was there. And so let yourself off the hook if you've made a big mistake that you're perceiving as a big mistake. Let yourself off the hook if you're feeling rejected by others, or if you've been kicked out of a tribe, or you've just had your heart broken by somebody, or you've really kind of fumbled the ball here in a certain dimension of your reality. It's like, know that this was all a divine orchestration to help you dissolve a lot of this ancestral shame that a lot of us, it just gets passed down into our cells, into our genetics, into our DNA, and life has to find a way for us to purge it. So it's going to put us through these situations where we're going to have to refill this shame. And it's not your fault. None of this is your fault. Like when we're purging shame and we're going through a huge shame release, it can feel like it's our fault, that we did something wrong. That's why we're feeling all this shame. Fuck no, that's not the truth. The truth is life's doing you a favor and it's helping you release the shame. You've done nothing wrong. Nothing is your fault. You are completely innocent. You are completely innocent. The choice you made was actually the only choice you could make in that moment. It was literally by design. It was divine will. Let yourself off the hook about these choices that you're perceiving as so wrong or so bad. No, these were the choices that Spirit led you to make so that you could go through your next leap in evolution, so that your consciousness could go through its next expansion, its next upgrade. So yeah, Sacral Chakra. I think we're getting there. And so this shame is tied up in the Sacral Chakra, a major part of it. So when you do release this shame through these difficult times that you might have to go through, you're going to feel massive sexual energy come online. And this sexual energy, it sublimates and transmutes into creativity, into a warmness, into a glow, into love. But my advice to you, as you're dissolving this shame and as your sacral chakra is opening and this repressed sexual energy that maybe you felt guilt about or shame about, because that's a big part of some of our culture, especially with religion. As this sexual energy starts to come up, let it flow. Let the thoughts be there, the graphic images. Trust that your body can hold it. We don't need to act on it, but we really want to let it be in our body as fully as we can. And you'll notice it will start transforming, and you'll feel the gift of having this sexual energy back online in your system, in your body, in your nerves. It's very healing. It's very supportive for your humanity. It's not something that we need to make wrong or bad for feeling or for having the desire for sex or for wanting sex so bad or something. No, this is good. This is your life force coming back online. Let yourself long for it. Let yourself want it so much. Let go of the shame of having it. It's beautiful that this energy's come back online for you. Because like I said, this is your life force. This transforms into creative energy. This will expand your field. This will help you feel more full of who and what you really are. And so this is the path of opening the sacral chakra. It's really a path of dissolving shame. And life's going to do that for you, but it's going to feel pretty fucking gnarly, and it's going to feel really rough, because shame is the deep, dark shadow that none of us want to visit. Trust me, it's so dark, and it's sticky, and it's the thought forms that shame takes are so believable and convincing. I had a healer once tell me in a session, shame is a hard one to not believe. And so, I want to try that Matt Kahn quote again. That's my perfectionist brain for you. Yeah, it's just not there. That's life. That's the field. The field's like, you don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. And that's almost beautiful that I got to try the quote and just totally fuck it up. So that could be a moment where I could dissolve any like little shame energies about not being perfect in a video, right? Because it's rare that I'll do that. I almost never do that. So it's funny, as I'm talking about a video about purging shame, and a lot of the shames were tied into the inner critic. Life's like, here, I'm going to give you exactly what you need. You're going to totally fuck this quote up, and it's not going to come back like it might usually would. That's kind of funny. So I'm going to leave that in, of course. So yeah, I'm glad I went with what I pulled. That's a fun game. I fucking love that game. It's really alive. Just no plan, just write 3 things down, pick one and go. Yeah, that's a new like growing edge for me. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for your donations. If you want to support this work, if you're enjoying all the videos, if you're enjoying all the light that's flowing through, donations are a great way to support this work, as well as joining the Patreon community. And I am also just so loving having all the one-on-one sessions that I'm having with you guys. So there's links for all of those options to support in the description box. But other than that, I'm just sending you guys so much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.